everyone. So today we're going to talk about rotating shapes counterclockwise. And so yesterday we were talking about rotating shapes clockwise 90 degrees, 180, or 270. So now instead of clockwise, we're going to rotate them counterclockwise. So we're going to go counterclockwise 90 degrees, 180 degrees, and 270 degrees. All right. So I'll have the same chart here that you can see. And so mainly we're just going to be focusing on counterclockwise. So these are the rules that we're going to be focusing on today. I'm just going to highlight them in orange. So if I want to go counterclockwise, 90 degrees, we're going to use this. If I want to go counterclockwise, 180, we're going to use this. And if I want to go counterclockwise, 270 degrees, we're going to use this. Okay. And so basically for rotating counterclockwise 90 degrees from my original point x comma y, what I'm going to do is swap the x and y values in the order that they are in the coordinate, and then my y value becomes the opposite side of its original. Okay, so I know it says negative y there, but if your original y value is negative, it would then therefore become positive. Okay, so that's why I'm going to say opposite signs there. Okay. And then for rotating 180 degrees counterclockwise, it's the same as clockwise, what we were doing in the video yesterday. And so for your original point, x comma y, the signs would just change for your x value and your y value there. Okay. And then for rotating 270 degrees counterclockwise, you would switch the order of your x and y value, and then your x value is what becomes the opposite sign of whatever your original was. So what we're going to do now is look at an example, and now I'm saying suppose I want to rotate the image below 90 degrees clockwise. Okay, and so what I'm first going to do is find the coordinates of the original labeled points in the shape, and then fill in my chart using the rules from this step here that you see in step 1, and then plot the new points on the coordinate grid and draw the rotated image. Okay, so let's first just find the coordinates. So here, I'm looking at my point A first. And so that coordinate is going to be negative 8, because my x value is negative 8, comma, negative 5. And then for B, I'm going to look at this point here, and my x value is negative 4, and my y value is negative 2. So it's going to be negative 4, comma, negative 2. For point C here, that's going to be negative 2, and then negative 5. And then for point D, I have that this is negative 4, negative 8. Okay, so now I want to say what I'm doing as far as the rotation in degrees. So I'm going 90 degrees counterclockwise. Instead of writing it, I'll honestly just highlight that that's what we're doing in the problem. Okay, so this is 90 degrees. And then 90 degrees. And again, we're going counterclockwise. All right, so let's look at the rule for that. So 90 degrees counterclockwise, that tells me to take my original point and then the new point would be negative y comma x, and this is the general rule speaking that I'm going to do to all of them here. Okay, so now after you write down the general rule, all right, let's actually try to apply it to our original point. So looking at our original point here, I have that my original point is negative 8, comma, negative 5. So my x value is negative 8, and my y value is negative 5. So I'm going to now write down the opposite sign of my y as my first value in the coordinate. All right, that's what this is telling me to do. Since my original was xy, now I'm swapping. All right, so now my y value is the first number that comes in the coordinate, but it's not just the original y value, it's the opposite sign of the original y value. So my y value here is -5. So since that's going to be the opposite sign of that is going to be my first number, I'm going to write 5. Okay, and then now the second number is my x value from my original point, so that's just -8. Okay, let's do the same thing with point B. Alright, so looking at this, my original y value is -2. So instead of -2, that's going to become +2. And then my x value is staying the same, so that's just going to be -4. Now looking at my point C, that y value is -5, so it's going to be the opposite sign of -5, which is +5. And then again, my x value stays the same. And then for my new point D here, I'm going to have that this is 8, -4. Okay, and so now that I have the points, I'm going to just plot these coordinates onto the grid here. So, A prime is 5, -8. B prime is 2, -4. C prime is 5, -2. And then D prime is 8, -4. And so I'm going to draw this in green here, just so you can see it more clearly. Okay, and so this is my rotated shape counterclockwise 90 degrees.